You are lying awake right now, feeling a crushing guilt in your chest simply because you stopped moving, convinced that if you are not entirely exhausted, you are somehow failing. But what if the relentless pursuit of endless work, the promise that bleeding yourself dry will eventually buy your freedom, is the cruelest trap ever designed? Before we walk into the shadows to unravel this lie together, I invite you to subscribe to the Psyche Unfolding, so you never have to navigate these heavy, quiet hours alone. Let us talk about the weight you are carrying. It is a phantom weight, but it presses down on your ribs just the same. You wake up every single morning already owing a debt to the day. Before your feet even touch the cold floor, your mind is racing down a dark, foggy road, cataloguing all the ways you are falling behind. There is a relentless drumbeat in your head. It tells you to move faster. It tells you that your worth is measured by how much you can produce, how much pain you can endure, and how completely you can drain your own well. You have been taught to wear your exhaustion like a crown. But look at what this crown is doing to you. It is heavy, it is sharp, and it is slowly blinding you to the beauty of your own existence. You treat yourself like a machine, like a tightly wound clockwork that must never stop ticking until the mainspring snaps. You push through the fatigue, pouring endless cups of bitter stimulation down your throat, forcing your eyes to stay open when your soul is begging for darkness and silence. You have convinced yourself that this is the price of admission to a good life. You believe that if you just sacrifice a few more years, if you just surrender a few more nights of sleep, if you just ignore the aching in your bones and the hollowness in your chest for a little while longer, you will finally reach the clearing in the woods. You believe there is a finish line where you will be handed a certificate of worthiness, where you will finally be given permission to breathe. I am sitting here with you now to tell you the quiet, devastating truth. That finish line does not exist. The horizon will always recede. The more you feed this fire, the larger it grows, and it will eventually consume everything you are. The culture of endless toil is a beautifully constructed illusion. It is a labyrinth designed to keep you walking in circles, staring at the ground, too tired to look up and realize there are no walls keeping you inside. You are trading the most precious, unrecoverable substance in the universe, which is your time, your focus, your literal life force, for an invisible badge of honor that crumbles to dust the moment you try to hold it. Think about the guilt that washes over you when you sit in a chair and do nothing. Notice how your hands start to fidget. Notice how a quiet voice whispers that you are being lazy, that someone else is working harder, that you are losing ground. This is not your true voice. This is the voice of a system that has colonized your mind. It is a parasite that feeds on your anxiety. When you are constantly moving, constantly stressed, you are entirely disconnected from your inner compass. You become a leaf blown around in a violent storm, reacting to every gust of wind, never realizing that you have the power to simply drop to the forest floor and rest. The sheer panic of stillness is the symptom of a deeply wounded spirit. You are so terrified of what you might feel if you stop that you choose to run until your lungs burn. We must understand where this frantic running comes from. It is deeply rooted in fear. It is a trauma response disguised as ambition. You have been led to believe that if you can just control every variable, if you can just outwork the danger, if you can just build a high enough wall of accomplishments around yourself, you will finally be safe. But absolute safety is a ghost. The more you try to control the unpredictable ocean of life by bailing water with a tiny cup, the more exhausted you become. You are fighting a war against vulnerability, and in doing so, you are becoming a casualty of your own defense mechanisms. When you live in this state of perpetual emergency, a profound numbness takes over. You begin to lose the vibrant colours of your own life. You sit across from the people you love, but you are not really there. Your physical body is at the table, but your mind is 10 kilometers away, fighting imaginary battles, solving problems that have not yet occurred, and bracing for the next wave of demands. You eat without tasting. You look at the sky without seeing the sunset. Your own body becomes an abandoned house. You have locked the doors, turned off the lights inside, and moved out, choosing instead to live entirely in the anxious, swirling clouds of your thoughts. You tell yourself you are working this hard to build a beautiful life for the future, but the tragic irony is that you are entirely missing the only life you actually have, which is happening right now, in this exact second. But let us pause right here. Let us stop the rushing river for just a moment. Breathe in with me. Hold it. Now let it go. Imagine stepping off the running wheel. The moment you step off, the wheel keeps spinning. The world does not end. The sky does not fall. The stars continue their slow, silent rotation across the night sky. You realize, with a sudden sharp clarity, that your constant motion was never holding the universe together. It was only tearing you apart. I want you to look closely at nature. Look at the deep forests, the wide oceans, the vast mountain ranges. Nothing in the natural world blooms all year long. The soil requires the freezing quiet of winter to gather its strength. The trees drop their leaves and stand bare, completely exposed to the elements, engaging in the deep, unseen work of resting. They do not apologize for this. They do not feel guilty. They understand that withdrawal is the absolute prerequisite for creation. Why do you, a complex, breathing, feeling creature of the earth, believe you are exempt from this fundamental law? Why do you demand endless summer from your own mind, punishing yourself when the inevitable winter of your energy arrives? The greatest deception you have swallowed is that stillness is empty. You have been taught that if a space is not filled with noise, action, and visible progress, it is a wasted space. But true power, true clarity is born in the void. When you empty the glass, it finally has the capacity to hold something new. By constantly filling every second of your life with frantic effort, you are leaving absolutely no room for grace, for inspiration, or for the quiet whispers of your own intuition. You are shouting so loudly that you cannot hear the very answers you are so desperately searching for. We are going to dismantle this lie right now. We are going to gently take that heavy crown of exhaustion off your head and set it on the ground. You do not need it anymore. You are going to start reclaiming your hours. Imagine a fortress of stone. You are going to build a fortress around your peace. When the demands of the world come knocking, pounding on your door, demanding your energy, you will stand in the courtyard of your mind and realize you hold the keys. You do not have to answer every knock. You are allowed to let the door remain shut. You are allowed to sit by the fire inside and simply tend to your own warmth. As you begin to understand this, a profound shift happens. The fog starts to lift from the road. The tight knot in your chest begins to loosen, thread by thread. You realize that your value is inherent. It was woven into your very fibers the moment you took your first breath. You do not have to earn your right to exist. You do not have to justify your oxygen by producing more, achieving more, or suffering more. You are enough right now, sitting exactly where you are, doing absolutely nothing. Standing still. If this yajation feels like a cool drink of water after a long journey in the desert, if you feel your shoulders dropping even a fraction of an inch, I gently encourage you to subscribe to the Psyche Unfolding channel. Here we will continue to walk away from the noise and build a sanctuary for your mind, one quiet revelation at a time. Think about the energy you will have when you stop fighting yourself. When you stop whipping the exhausted horse and instead lead it to the river to drink. You will still create. You will still move forward. But you will do it from a place of deep, grounded power, not from a place of frantic scarcity. You will become like the ocean. On the surface, the waves may crash and roll, interacting with the winds of the world, but hundreds of meters below, in the deep water, there is only absolute, unshakable calm. No storm can disturb the deepest parts of you. It is time to walk back into the abandoned house of your body. It is time to sweep the floors, open the heavy curtains, and let the sunlight pour into the rooms. Notice the tension in your jaw right now and let it go. Let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. Let your belly soften. You are going to take your life back. It starts with a radical act of rebellion. And that rebellion is simply choosing to close your eyes, to lean back into the silence, and to refuse to feel guilty for your own peace. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast, calm lake at twilight. The water is perfectly smooth, reflecting the soft purple and silver hues of the sky. You are wearing a heavy, weathered backpack. It is filled with the rocks of every expectation you have ever tried to carry. Every invisible deadline, every ounce of guilt, every false promise that exhaustion equals worth. I want you to slide the straps off your tired shoulders. Feel the rough fabric slip down your arms. Let the bag drop to the earth. Hear the heavy, dull thud as it hits the ground. That weight never belonged to you. You were only holding it for a world that did not know any better. Roll your shoulders back. Feel the sudden, astonishing lightness in your spine. Breathe the cool, evening air deep into the very bottom of your lungs. The night is quiet. The world is still. And you, for the first time in a very long time, are completely and beautifully free.